Hey guys, I'm Loomin, and as you may know, we're going to get a new expansion reveal at Gamescom next week. I personally think it'll be the Council of Glades, since Blizzard trademarked that name earlier in this week. So in preparation of this upcoming announcement, the Ironhype guys and I have compiled a list of things that we don't want to see in the upcoming expansion, regardless of what it actually ends up being. So here we go!
Number 7.
Another silly encampment as the new hub area. War Spear can burn for all I care, honestly. It's generic and not memorable at all. Give me another Dalaran, where you feel like you're somewhere important. Hell, even if both factions don't share the same city, give us both something we can be proud of. As a Horde player, I get really tired of the same orc architecture day in and day out, although that could be because I'm a Tauren and a bit biased, and War Spear is no exception. Some of my most missed memories from my World of Warcraft career are hanging out in Dalaran with my guildies, or sliding down to the sewers to have a quick duel and maybe pick up some PvP gear, or fishing in the fountain and chatting with other players nearby. I can honestly say that I probably won't remember anything unique about War Spear, except that it has a portal to Tanaan, which was convenient, I guess.
Number 6.
Orcs. Okay, so we all know that orcs have been the most common race in the latest expansions. Now, even though I do love orcs, and they're one of my favorite races in the game, I still don't want to see another orc expansion or orc bosses in any of the new raids in the next expansion. The only orc I want to see in a raid is Gul'dan. That's it. Blizzard needs to give us something new and unexpected, like possibly something the Alliance does wrong, rather than it always being the Horde that does something wrong. I understand the whole appeal of good versus bad, and how the Alliance is kind of considered the good side, but seriously, it's like they can't ever do anything wrong, and they always come out on the winning side somehow. It's easy to say a bloodthirsty orc messed up and you have to go kill him. But what would be even cooler is if we saw an Alliance NPC like King Wren or Tyrande or anyone in that matter to do the unthinkable and turn on the Alliance. Kind of similar to what Arthas did, and frankly we all know how good of an expansion Wrath was.
Number 5.
I hope they don't make another Asheran where it's mandatory. This expansion, they made it where you had to do Asheran, because if you didn't, you'd really miss out on a lot of gear, or you have to get really lucky in Battlegrounds. And as a Horde player, it kind of sucked this time around, let's be honest. Make Battlegrounds and arenas what gets you gear.
Number 4.
Medan. Blizzard, for the love of God, if this expansion is centered around the Council of Glades, the Council of Tearsful, the Guardians of Azeroth, etc., 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 please stay away from including Medan in this expansion. Okay, a little bit of background. Medan is the current Guardian of Azeroth. Medan is a third orc, a third human, and a third Draenei. He's able to wield the powers of a shaman, a mage, a warrior, a paladin, and a priest, and is basically able to virtually learn any powers almost instantly, according to the comics. He's Medivh and Garona's son. He's literally too powerful of a hero, basically a perfect character, terrible writing, and the question is always asked on lore forums, why don't we just send Medan to deal with insert threat here? Oh, Garrosh is committing genocide on different races of Azeroth? Oh, the Iron Hordes barging through Azeroth? Oh no, Sargeras is here. Let's just send Medan to deal with him. Send Medan to deal with him. Let's just send Medan. He can do it. So far, Blizzard hasn't included him or his name anywhere in the actual game. We only know about him from the comics, which are sadly canon. I think that the only way I'd be okay with them introducing him into the game is if they do some serious retconning and tone his powers down a bit. Maybe give him some real flaws and get away from the Mary Sue-ness that we currently know of him. The last thing this game needs in lore is another Thrall, much less Thrall 2.0.
Number 3.
Alternate universes. Alternate universe. Just stop right now, Blizzard. There's absolutely no point to do one. It's messy and confusing, and you messed up the one expansion that dealt with an alternate universe. The storyline that comes with an alternate universe is really easy to do with lore-wise, and yet it's also the easiest to mess up. Most people know the lore already behind the game, and when you go back and try to redo the lore we already know, a lot of people get upset. For instance, Ner'zhul, why in the world do we only get to see him in a 5-man dungeon rather than like a raid boss?
Number 2.
Another garrison. Okay, Blizzard. You gave us garrisons, and for the most part, the players loved them. At first. It was our first taste of your version of player housing, and it was really awesome. At first. However, As the months went on, it became less of a fun aspect to the game, and more of an antisocial, hollow, daily chore kind of thing. It also destroyed professions, particularly the gathering ones, and by the time a content patch was implemented to quote-unquote fix it, it was way too late. We quickly outleveled garrisons as players, and there just wasn't much fun gameplay value created by it after the initial building phase. Sure, it may have churned out tons of gold and goodies, but that just made it feel even more like you were required to do your wizard chores every day. I really hope Blizzard doesn't bring back garrisons in this upcoming expansion. If they feel as though they have to bring back something similar to garrisons in the next expansion, hopefully they'll do it on a much smaller scale, focus their resources somewhere else, like, I don't know, maybe proper capital cities.
Number 1.
An in-boss that comes out of nowhere. Now sure, Archimonde is inevitably tied to the Burning Legion in lore, but it's almost as if Gul'dan sort of pulled him out of his pocket at the last second as a final ace up his sleeve. Let's compare that to, say, Wrath of the Lich King. Arthas was involved in some of the questing. He was even seen in the 5-man heroic Halls of Reflection. In Cataclysm, Deathwing literally flew around in a fiery murder train, killing players all over the place. In Mists of Pandaria, Garrosh was intrinsically tied to the storyline, and we saw him fairly often before our final confrontation with him in Siege of Orgrimmar. Archimonde had no such build-up. Yes, it was cool we got to see such a powerful and important character again, and killing him was cool, but I missed the hype for an in-boss, like the feeling of stepping into Icecrown Citadel for the first time, thinking, wow, the Lich King is in here somewhere, and we're finally here to stop him.
Alright guys, that wraps up our list on things that we don't want to see in the next expansion. What do you guys not want to see in the next expansion? Let us know in the comments below. I know some of you may be watching this video after the new expansion is revealed, so some of these things that we don't want to be in the expansion may have made it in, and if they have, we'll probably have some rant videos coming up for you guys on why that's a terrible idea. So stay tuned for those, guys, and thanks for checking us out. If you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe.